I thought I would work us through a really lovely, gentle 45-minute practice to find this sense of centering and grounding. And at the moment, that's probably something that feels really difficult and really tricky to hold on to. So we're going to start seated. So finding your comfortable seat, and for you that might be popping the hips up on top of a prop. Maybe you've got a block, maybe you've just got a cushion from your couch. Anything works well. So just elevating the seat, coming to find your comfortable cross-legged position. And of course, if that doesn't work for you, just taking whatever posture feels right in your body at this moment. And then just taking a moment to find that comfy seat. And if the eyes haven't already drifted to a close, letting them come to a close now. And becoming aware of your space and aware of yourself in this space. Feeling that connection of body to the earth. And feeling almost as if we're growing roots, grounding down into our seat, but also rising up tall, rising up strong, rising up resilient. Begin to simply watch your breath. And just notice your natural breath. What journey does it take? Where does it go? Entering through the nose, traveling down through the back of the throat till it finds the lungs. And then leaving your body. And just beginning to work with the breath. Taking a short meditation. And today we're going to work with the mantra, a very simple mantra. Breathing in I, exhaling am. Breathing in here, exhaling now. Together, let's inhale I, exhale am. Inhale here, exhale now. I am here now. I am here now. Inhale I, exhale am. Inhale here, exhale now. I am here now. Continuing to repeat those 4 words. Taking one more round of that mantra. And then once again, find that connection to your body in this present moment. Feel the way that you're grounded and settled into your earth. Here, now, in this moment in time, right where you need to be. Beautiful. Just starting to bow the head and bring the chin to the chest. And then working on some lovely little shoulder rolls, some neck stretches here. We're just going to roll the right ear over to the right shoulder as we breathe in. Exhale, bring it back through center. Eyes still closed, left ear, left shoulder, inhale. Exhale, center. Inhale, right. Exhale, center. Inhale, travel that left ear to the left shoulder. Inhale, come back through center. Taking the hands and just gently interlacing the fingers, placing the hands on top of the back of the neck, and just gently invite the triceps towards the chest as we softly place pressure on the top of the head, taking a stretch through the upper back, through the lower parts of our neck. And then releasing those hands, bring them behind your body and interlace those fingers. Start to roll the shoulders down the back, send the hands away as you drop chin to chest and shine the heart to the sky. And then perhaps that head drops back. Come back through center. Let's blink the eyes open. Hello. Take the hands to the sky. Inhale, looking up, seeing those thumbs, and then wrapping that left hand around the right wrist. Start to take your body up and over to that left hand side, finding space through the right side of our body now. And you can gaze out forward. Perhaps there's a soft gaze down to the ground. If those ribs are flaring, engaging lower belly and just drawing in the ribs. Let that right hand come down. We're going to place it to the outside of that left leg, bringing the left hand behind. Big inhale. Exhale, twist and look over that left shoulder. Beautiful. Back through center. Inhale, hands to the sky. This time, right arm grabs hold of that left wrist as we start to lean up and over to the right hand side, finding that space all the way through that left arm, left armpit, through the side of the body to the hip. And think about lifting and lengthening through the side waist rather than hunching and crunching in the side body. Come back through center. Let that left hand float to the outside of the right leg, bringing the right fingertips behind you. Big inhale. Draw belly in. Gently look over that right shoulder. Easy twist. Beautiful. Coming all the way back around. Take a big inhale here, and then just walk those hands forward, coming into a nice, passive, easy forward fold. And don't worry about how low your body comes down. Just let the head bow, the chin drop to the chest. Let the weight of your body just merge with the earth. Feel that connection. Draw the energy from the ground up through your fingertips. Lovely. And then starting to blink the eyes open, you're going to pull yourself up and over and find your tabletop position. moving any props out of the way, stacking the hands underneath the wrists, knees underneath the hips. And then we're looking just beyond the fingertips here. Start to allow the belly to sink towards the earth as we pull for the heart through the arms and look forward. And then drawing belly button to spine as we press the mat away, doming and rounding in the upper back. Inhale, belly dropping, sit bones rising, heart pulling through the arms, look up. Exhale, pressing the earth away, moving through these cat-cows here. Flowing with the breath, inhaling to lift the heart. And then exhaling to dome the spine. Two more. Then refinding that neutral tabletop position, we're just going to take some little circles around the wrist, just warming up the wrist, creating space here. We use our wrists so much in our yoga practice. So it's really important to exercise them, to warm them up properly. Taking the fingers out to the side, continue to take those circles back and forth, round and round, or moving in any way that feels right in your body. Turn the fingers towards one another, middle finger pointing towards middle finger, continue to make those circles. Amazing. And then we're going to turn the fingers towards the knees. Now this is a little bit more intense. And perhaps we can take little circles or rock back and forth. And just working wherever you're at. Beautiful. Turn the hands back around with the bum still stacked above the knees. We're going to start to walk the body forward and find our Anahatasana, our extended puppy pose, melting the heart to the ground, inviting the head to the ground. And if it doesn't quite make it, we can grab a prop and place it underneath the forehead here. Drawing in through lower belly, lifting up through the core, and then inviting those shoulders to slide down the back as we engage the heart to the earth. Nice. Breathing here. One more breath. Start to press through the hands as we lift the body into the sky, and then start to walk those hands all the way back to the back of your mat until you're resting the bum on the heels, bringing the fingertips behind you, maybe propping them up on the hands. We're going to squeeze on the feet. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together, shine the heart forward, draw lower belly in, chin to chest, or perhaps allowing that head to drop back. Inhale, let's travel forward. Coming back into tabletop. From here, flying that right hand to the sky and looking up to the thumb. We're going to, on an exhale, thread that right arm underneath the body and bringing the ear and the shoulder down here, resting the hand, coming directly out of that shoulder joint, looking to the thumb, finding our twisted thread the needle here, shoulder stretch. Start to walk that left hand all the way to the top of your mat and then roll that left shoulder back, drawing the belly in. So you can stay here, or maybe you fly that left hand to the sky, wrapping the arm around the waist and then finding that link. Perhaps it's just hand resting on lower back, Perhaps you can shuffle that left hand all the way to the inner thigh. Use your exhales to roll that left shoulder back, drawing the belly in and spinning the heart around. Beautiful. And then we're going to start to take the weight back, slide the bum towards the heels, lifting up into a kneeling seated position. Bring the right hand to the outside of the left leg or hip, and then drawing belly in, coming into another twist here. Looking over that back shoulder. One more. Come back through center and walk those hands back out. Find your tabletop position. Inhale, fly that left hand to the sky, and then thread that arm underneath the body. Bringing the ear and the shoulder down, stacking those hips above the knees. And then walking that right hand forward, tiptoeing it to the top of your mat, rolling the shoulder back. From here, flying that hand into the sky if we did that on the other side. And then wrapping that left hand, that right hand around the left hip. Just find that breath. Maybe close down the eyes so we can tune into how this feels. Where do we feel sensation in our body? And then starting to find that lift as we take the bottom back towards the heels and we place that left hand onto the outside of the right thigh. Big inhale, draw up through crown of the head. Exhale, twist and look over that shoulder. Come all the way back around and plant those hands on the ground. Tucking your toes. We're going to send the bum down to the heels now. Take a big breath in. And as we exhale, let's fly the bum high for our first downward facing dog. So that upside down, inverted V shape, that triangle shape with our body. Hands about shoulder width apart and feet hips width apart. Spread those fingers wide. Start to pedal out your dog, bending one knee and then the other. Swaying the hips from side to side, just taking any movement here. And then beginning to settle in stillness, finding that space in your body. And again, becoming aware of how this feels in your body. Can you feel that activation through the backs of the legs? That offering of the tailbone to the sky as we zip the belly in. And is the head nice and heavy? Maybe give it a little nod and a shake. On an inhale, we're going to fly the right leg to the sky and really point through those toes, opening up that hip. You can let the whole body rotate around here so we find length all the way through that right side. Hold here. And then starting to gaze to the top of your mat. We're going to step right foot all the way to the outside of the right hand. Back knee drops as the toes untuck. And we begin to find our lizard pose. So letting the hips travel forward as the heart draws through the arms, reaching through the crown of the head. That invitation of the hips towards the earth. And if you have variations in your practice, perhaps you grab your props, bringing the arms down onto blocks. Or maybe finding the forearms on the ground. Keep inviting those hips forward. Maybe you like to explore the foot turned at an angle and the knee winging out. Perhaps inviting movement here, a little sway through the hips. finding that breath. Being here right now in this moment, feeling the ground beneath your feet, perhaps beneath your fingers, beneath that back leg, drawing that energy up. And then starting to bring the hands in, lifting up onto the hands, or option to stay down on the forearms if we are working with a more open body. We're going to turn that right foot at a 45-degree angle and then bring the right hand, pressing the leg away, letting the sole of the foot lift as we sink the hips forward. And we start to look over that back shoulder, looking up to the sky, hips traveling towards the ground. Heart twisting round, perhaps feeling a little deeper in that right hip now. Beautiful. Lovely. Let's come all the way back out. We're going to walk that right foot in and start to ground down through that left arm, reaching up with that right hand, taking the gaze towards the thumb, drawing that right thigh in towards the midline. Beautiful. Nice. So gazing down at the right foot, start to really engage and find strength through that lower body, engaging core, lifting, 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 higher, lifting up into your twisted lunge. So you can gaze forward at that front hand if balance feels a little tricky here. Maybe you want to bring the neck and chin in line with the center of the chest, or you may travel your twist all the way around to the back of the room, drawing up on your inhale, exhale, twist deeper. 2 more breaths. And then with that right hand, let's start to reach it back and bring that left hand up and overhead, reaching for an imaginary button that is just out of reach, creating space all the way from the knee to the fingertips on that left side. And then inhale, travel forward. Let the hands find the ground, tucking back toes and stepping all the way back for a downward facing dog. Swaying the hips here, taking a moment. And then on an inhale, we fly that left leg to the sky, pointing through the toes, letting the hip open, letting your heart just shine to that wall. Nice, really lovely, guys. One more breath. And then step that foot slowly with control all the way to the outside of that left hand. Back knee coming down as the toes untuck, finding that lizard. So traveling those hips forward, heart reaching through the arms, and then coming down into any variation. And not being afraid to explore your lizard, explore your posture. Maybe that knee's winging out. Maybe there's that little rock and that little sway. And again, just finding that connection to your body, to your earth. Last few breaths. So either staying on that forearm or lifting up onto the hand. Let's start to reach up with that left arm and press the left leg away, peeling the sole of the foot off the ground, sinking those hips down as we look up to the sky, spinning the heart upwards. And then coming back out, shuffling those feet in, rooting down through that right hand, taking that left hand up to the sky, easy twist, drawing the navel in, reaching through the head, stacking those arms one on top of the other, and then beginning to find that strength, that rooting, those roots growing deep down into the ground as we engage the core and lift the body up. Ooh. Finding your twist. And then again with the neck, maybe looking forwards, maybe through center, or perhaps looking out to that back hand as we spin the heart around. And then diving that left hand down, reaching up and overhead with that right arm, finding as much length as you can through the front of the hip, through the side of the body, through to those fingertips. Inhale. Hands come down, we frame the foot as we tuck those back toes and fly it all the way back, downward dog. Nice, let's reach back with that right leg. Open the hip, find all that space. Bend the knee, let's bring the heel towards the bottom, splitting our dog now. Squeezing that heel, pressing evenly through those hands. Spring up onto that left leg, those left toes. And then we're going to step that right foot all the way to the outside of the right hand. And then pick up that left leg and take that all the way to the top of the mat as well. Finding our malasana, our yogi squat. So you might need to take a little rock and a sway from side to side in those hips. And if you've got something nearby and you want to take a more supported variation, you can just prop the hips up onto your prop. Just finding where you want to be. And then bringing the hands in at the heart, pressing the knees away with the elbows, and letting the eyes drift to a close. Softly bow the chin to the chest to lengthen up the back of the spine. And lift through the core, through the crown of the head. Three more breaths. And then beginning to press the hands into the ground. We're going to sweep the bum upwards. Come into an easy forward fold. A little bend in the knees. Grab hold of either elbow. Take a little sway from side to side. And then heel toeing those feet until they're about hips width apart. Taking your two peace fingers, wrap them around the big toes, and then attaching your belly onto your thighs. Take an inhale and reach your head towards the front of the room. As you exhale, we start to pull ourselves up and over those toes, sandwiching our body and finding a little stretch here through the backs of the legs, through the backs of the hips, lower back. Let the head be heavy. Give it a little nod and shake. There's an invitation of this tilt of the tailbone to the sky to increase sensation. Padangusthasana. Forward fold. And then lifting on an inhale, option to come back into that same variation or take it a little further by walking the hands underneath the feet. And then, as before, find all that length and then begin to sandwich your body up and over. Trying to bring the weight forward, not so far forward that we fall over. How does this feel? Where do we feel that sensation? Exploring our body in our practice. Being really present in our physical bodies. And then releasing those hands. Walking those hands all the way to the top of our mat. Stepping it out, downward facing dog. We're going to step that right foot through to the top of our mat. Let the back knee drift to the ground as the toes untuck. And inhale, sweep those hands high. Sink forward in those hips as you settle in. And then bringing the hands to interlace. Softly cradle the base of the skull in the hands. Elbows out wide. Draw the belly in. Start to let the head drop back. Finding a little heart opener here. Offering your heart to the sky. Keep lifting up out of that side body. Maybe explore closing the eyes. One more breath. Inhale, let's take it all the way, bringing those hips back in line with the knee. Hands dive down to the ground. Finding our runner's lunge here. So option to grab some props and place them either side of the leg if we're working with slightly tighter hamstrings. If not, coming into a forward fold over that leg, big breath in. And then inviting the head in the direction of the toes as we hinge from those hips. Notice what happens if we pull that right hip back in line with the left. Perhaps there's a little soft bend in that knee, so we're not overextending and we're protecting all those joints, those ligaments. Protecting the joint. Beautiful. Start to place the right foot down. Framing the foot with the hands, we're going to step it back to a plank now. And then lowering those knees, untucking the toes, bring the heart to the ground, and then find your way onto the belly. Bringing the hands out beside one another, coming onto the fingertips. Inhale, lift the chest, look forward. Exhale, lower down. Finding these cobra rolls, you may need to reposition the hands, draw the belly in, slide the shoulder blades down the back as we lift. Exhale, surrender to the ground. One more time. Shine that heart upwards. Exhale, coming all the way back down. Plant the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck those toes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fly the bum to the sky. Left side, step that left foot to the top of your mat as the back knee drops and toes untuck. Inhale. Exhale, settle in, low lunge. Interlacing fingers, start to cradle the base of the skull. Let the head drop back, heart lifts. lifting up through that side waist, lower belly, pelvic floor. Inhale, let's lift and peel those hips back towards the knee as the hands dive to the ground and we find the heel of that left leg. Let's create that space in our body and then start to bow over the extended leg, finding that hamstring stretch, little bend, tiny micro bend in the knee. Lifting the heart up and over, crown of the head traveling towards the foot, and it doesn't matter how far away or how far that journey is. Again, it's this invitation of that directional movement. Notice what happens if we adjust those hips, slightly pulling that left hip back so it's in line with the right. Last breath. And then framing that foot, tucking those back toes till we lift our body into that high plank. And then letting the knees down as the toes untuck. Turn the elbows backwards and take the heart and chin down. Finding your way onto the belly. Lifting onto those fingertips. Use an inhale to roll the heart to the sky. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, coming all the way back down. From here, we're going to stay on the belly and start to walk the elbows in, finding our Sphinx posture. So the hands are parallel to one another. We're engaging through that lower belly. We're drawing up. We're pressing the hips into the earth as the heart pulls through the arms. Reach up through the crown of the head. Take a moment here. How does this feel? Check in with your spine. And if this feels pretty great and your body would invite you to go further, we can take the elbows out at an angle, the hands out at an angle to the elbows, and start to raise the elbows off the ground. Keep that engagement of the lower belly. Keep pulling the heart forward as we slide the shoulder blades down the back and find that even curve of the spine. Lifting up for your seal pose. Maybe the hands will trickle in slightly, not too far. And then making our way back down, placing that left hand through center. Start to peel the right heel in towards the bottom. Swing that right arm all the way around, grabbing the inside of the foot and then peeling the heel towards the bottom, squaring the chest forward, pressing the hips into the ground, taking a stretch through the front of that right thigh, that right quadricep here. Releasing that right foot. And we're going to replace the right hand in through the center. Draw that left leg in, swim that left arm around, taking hold of the top of the foot as we find that quadricep stretch on that left hand side. Again, notice how this feels in your body. How does it feel through the back? Are we keeping that belly engaged rather than just flopping into the lower back? Releasing, coming all the way back out. We're going to tuck the hands underneath the shoulders, tucking the toes, and press the ground away, lifting up into a high plank. Ooh, hello core. From here, floating the right toes into the sky, pointing them to the back of the room, and then drawing that knee into the right armpit. We're going to slide the right knee to the back of the right wrist, take the ankle towards the left, finding pigeon pose. So bringing those left toes back, untucking, finding all that length and space, and then diving down, reaching up and over this extended leg. So you might just opt to stay on the forearms here. If this is already enough sensation, maybe you come down, letting the head rest on the ground or grabbing a prop, grabbing a pillow or a block to support you here. And if there's a lot of space between the hip and the ground, you can always support yourself by wedging something in there. So just find where it is your body wants to be. Find that breath. Let's find that mantra again. Inhale I, exhale am, inhale here, exhale now. Inhale I, exhale am, inhale here, exhale now. I am here now. Almost there. Starting to lift the head. We're going to walk those hands in. Drawing those left toes in, stepping that right leg back, give it a little shake, place it down, high plank. Float left toes into the sky, bringing the knee towards the armpit, sliding it down to that left wrist, placing the ankle behind the right, and reaching back with those right toes. Find that space, find that length, and then coming down, taking this pigeon through the left hand side. Find that breath, find that mantra, that feeling of being present in this moment, no matter how difficult it might feel. No matter what feelings might bubble up to the surface for you, just surrender to the emotion, surrender to the sensation, and just surrender to the moment. Almost there. Beginning to slowly walk your body in. We're going to just simply tip our way onto this left hip and swing the legs out all the way around in front, finding a seated forward fold. So if you have props and you normally practice on your props, you can grab those now. So lifting the hips up onto a block, using a strap, whatever it might be that you have in your normal practice. And then together, let's find this length, this space, lift the heart. And we're just going to walk those hands down towards the feet. They might not make it, and that's completely okay. Just notice where you feel the sensation through the backs of the hips and the backs of the legs. Keep hinging at the hips and tilting the body forward. If you can, perhaps hooking the peace fingers around the big toes and using that to lift you up and over, inviting the head towards the shins. And not worrying about where you are or where you think you should be. Just focus on this sense of sensation and how this forward fold feels in your body right now. How does it serve you? Letting go of any feeling of needing to push too far or letting the ego take over. And just accepting, finding this acceptance not only in our physical practice, but in our day-to-day life, just surrendering and accepting the inevitable. Not wasting our energy on that which we cannot control in this moment. And just doing our best to be kind and compassionate beings. Not only towards others, but to ourselves. Beginning to walk in. We're going to slide the soles of the feet together and let the knees come out nice and wide here. So coming into our Supta Baddha Konasana. So 2 options. We can simply just allow the head, the arms to just flop up and over the feet. Maybe you grab hold of those feet and invite your head closer. Perhaps you prefer to thread the arms and take hold of the tops of the feet, curling yourself up into a little ball. Just finding where you want to be. Slowly allow the chin to drop to the chest as we rise up, taking the hands either side of the knees and bringing those knees to a close. So we're going to shuffle the hips towards the heels at the top of our mat, and I want you guys to grab your blocks or your bolsters or whatever you're using for supportive props. And we're slowly going to wrap the hands around the knees and use the weight of the legs to softly draw us to the earth. And then placing the feet underneath the knees, we're going to start to lift the hips into the sky, grabbing our blocks and our props and just sliding them underneath the lower back. So we lift into a nice supported bridge pose. So from here, we can let the hands rest down by the side, or maybe take a big sweep, bringing them all the way up and overhead. Backs of the hands rest on the ground, fingers curl in towards one another. And maybe exploring how it might feel to extend those legs out, creating this long line across the front of the body. Just breathing here, finding your breath. And then beginning to walk the feet in, bringing the hands all the way up overhead, lift the hips, remove your props out of the way. Draw one knee and then the other in towards the body, wrapping the arms around the shins. Take a little rock and roll from side to side. And then bringing the knees over to that right hand side, gazing over the left shoulder, easy twist. Let both shoulders settle into the earth. And if you want to deepen this sensation, perhaps picking up that right leg and placing it on top of the left knee, weighing and anchoring that leg a little closer to the ground. And then releasing, taking it all the way back through center. Taking the knees to the left as we look over right shoulder. Closing the eyes if that feels comfortable to do so. And then again, perhaps picking up that left foot and gently resting it on top of that right knee. And then coming all the way back now through center. Bring both knees in towards the body. Together, let's take a big inhale and let the legs go. Finding your Shavasana, bringing the feet the length and width of your mat, and bringing the arms alongside your body, palms rest on the ground, slightly tucking the shoulder blades together to lift the heart. And then allow yourself to fully merge with the earth beneath you. Feel those roots taking hold in this moment. Feel yourself grounded, present right here, right now. If you have longer, I invite you to stay in your Shavasana. If you're ready to rejoin the world, we're going to slowly roll onto our side and then press the ground away from us as we lift back to that comfortable seat. Letting the hands just fall into the lap. This time, turn the palms to face down. Down for this sense of grounding. And feel one more time that oneness with your earth. That connection. That presentness. Bringing your hands together, one hand on top of the other at your heart. Bowing the head. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it and feel much more grounded and much more centered, and I will practice with you very soon.